Hello, and welcome today to today's webinar. My name is Rudi, and today we're going to discuss how the stop loss SMS notifications work, or the SMS notifications in general. So you'll see that the moment you buy a share, right, that's only on the equities though. So you'll obviously, you've got two dashboards. You've got investment dashboard and trader dashboard. Now on the trader dashboard, you cannot as of yet set any stop loss SMS notifications or anything like that, but only on the investment dashboard. So underneath the investment dashboard, on your right hand side of your shares, you've got the action button. Underneath each and every share, you'll find an action button. Now when you click on the action button over here, you'll see that it will open this little plane for you over here. So underneath this plane, you'll see that you've got the set stop loss button. So the moment you click on the set stop loss button, you've got different tabs to fill in. You've got your target value, your stop loss, and then also your growth stop loss percentage. Now, I did make us a little notepad here. Now, your target value is one of the notifications that you get the moment your share reaches your target value. So for instance, in this case, we set this one on 10%. So target value of 10%, the moment you receive it reaches that 10% target, then you will receive a SMS telling you that your target value has been reached. So in this case, it's 10%. So it will say that target value for SSW has been reached of 10%. All right. If it reaches that 10% and it goes over the 10%, then in brackets, it will, let's say, for instance, it went over by 1%, it will say 11. All right. It means that it went over your target value. So in this case, it would be a good thing if it reach 11 or 15 or 20%, but you can go and adjust that target value every time you reach your 10%. So for instance, if it reaches the 10%, you can go in and adjust it to, let's say, 20%. So then next time it will send you an SMS notification that's telling you, listen here, that it's reached your 20%, but it might have gone over, let's say, to 21%. Okay, so in brackets with your target value, you'll always receive that SMS notification once it's reached your target value. And the same with your stop loss. So our stop loss is set on 5%. All right, so on 5%. So when it reaches 5%, then we'll send you an SMS notification telling you that your stop loss has been reached for SSW. Then obviously from there on, you must decide, listen, do I want to sell the share, or do I still want to keep it and see if the share is going to grow? Usually on a stop loss, I won't go and say, listen here, I want to keep the share. There's a reason we call it a stop loss. Okay, because you want to sell your shares the moment it reaches your stop loss. Right. With a growth stop loss, maybe I would say, yes, maybe I can still hold on to the share. Maybe there's still some chance for the share to turn around. But with a stop loss, you must not argue with, or don't make that mistake, because some people leave it and they say, okay, listen here, it falls even further than the 5% or 10%. 10% is the usual one for equity. On a CFD, I would more or less leave it on a 5%, but on an equity, anything between 8 and 10% is fine. But you'll, as I said, you will receive the SMS telling you that stop loss has been reached of, let's say, 10%, and the same thing counts for your stop loss, that your target value is under. So it will say, for instance, that it is on 11. All right, so it means that it has extended over the 10% and is now on 11%. So it's fallen even further than the 10%. Okay. So once it reaches a stop loss, it's better to go and sell the share, all right? Because as I said, there's a reason we call it a stop loss. You're stopping your losses, right? Also, another thing is, if it reaches your stop loss value, all right, we're not going to go and sell the share for you, all right? You need to go into the software and go and sell the share. Obviously, when you start trading live, let's say through IG markets or through Standard Bank, or even FNB, then it will also sell it for you. All right, so on FNB side, you only on CFDs, all right, but they call it a contingent. All right, so on a contingency sell or a contingency buy, then we'll sell that share for you. But on Standard Bank, once it reaches 10%, then we'll sell it, and that's either in an upwards or a downwards direction. Okay, so, and same with equities, you can do the same there on Standard Bank. You can set up a stop loss notification for upwards or a downwards trend. So the moment it reaches 10% upwards, it will sell it, or 10% downwards, it will sell that share for you. All right, but on the software side, it's not going to sell the share. You need to go into the software and go and sell the share. Okay, and also don't reply to the SMS to say sell, because once again, we're not going to sell the share for you. You need to go into the software and go and sell the share. There's a reason that it's a training software. It's educational software. So we need to educate you on how the stop losses and the target values and stuff like that works. So it will not sell on a target or on a stop loss or even a growth stop loss. Okay. Now, growth stop loss is basically on its way to a certain point. So from here on, let's say I reached my target value of 20% and it falls down with 3%, then I would receive a growth stop loss SMS notification that the share has gone down from my previous closing price. But with the stop loss, it will work from your highest point, or at your highest price. All right, growth stop loss works from the current price. Okay, so if it let's say for instance my stop loss was down 10%, and then my growth stop loss is now on 3. All right, so it means that the moment it reaches that 3%, okay, then it will notify you. And the same thing with your target and your stop loss, it will notify you in brackets, for instance, that it has extended over that growth stop loss value of 4% the moment, and then it's going to keep on notifying you all the way up until your stop loss, and notify again, listen, your stop loss has now been reached. So by now you should have made a decision, all right, to sell the share. Okay, on growth stop loss, you can still argue around and say, listen, that the share might go up from there. All right, so it's much better to go and analyze the share from there and go and see what is the share currently doing. Has it only fallen by a small little amount for the day? So usually, if it's for a day or something like that, then there is a good chance that it might go up again. But if it's been falling for a while, let's say for 2 or 3 days, then it means that it's actually in that downward trend. Okay, but I doubt that it's going to fall by like 1%, 1%, 1% every day. It might be more. All right, but the moment it reaches 10%, rather go and sell it out. Then you get 2 other SMS notifications that we call the intraday SMS. Now, the intraday SMS notification is basically going to tell you what's currently happening with your shares. All right, so it will either tell you that your shares increased or decreased by X percentage so far for but from your set value. All right, so set value means basically the current price. All right, so the price that you bought the share at would be your set value. So it's increased by X percentage from your set value. Same thing with your decrease. All right, the decrease will do the same thing. So from the X percentage, depending on what share you bought, obviously. So X percentage for SSW has decreased from your set value. So it's the same for both your increase and your decrease, the SMS notifications that you would receive. All right, so that's only 5 of the types of SMS notifications that you will receive. So one is your stop loss, one is your target, then your growth stop loss SMS notification, and then your increase and your decrease SMS notifications. All right, so that's only for the ones that you set up. But so you have to set up every one, or you'll have to set up for every share that you buy. You need to go and set it up individually. So once again, all you do is once you bought the share, you click on the action button, and then you enter your target value, your stop loss. All right, stop loss for equity, around about anything between 8 and 10%, and then growth stop loss, I'd usually make half of what my stop loss is. So halfway to my stop loss, I would know when my share has fallen. All right. So in this case, if the share falls now, then it will obviously let me know that I need to go and sell out. Then you enter your cell phone number, and then you activate the SMS and then update your values. All right. So you enter your SMS, your cell phone number. You click on activate, click on intraday if you want those 2 extra SMS notifications. But those 2 you'll receive 3 times a day. Okay, so morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on what the share is currently doing. It might be, sometimes it might be more, sometimes it might be less, depending on what the share is doing. If the share hasn't done anything, then it won't notify you. All right, then you just say update values. The moment you say update values, then it's going to give you two messages on the side. So SMS notification updated and updated client preferences. All right, so those are only the 5 ones that you get out of the SMS notifications. Then also, the other SMS notification that you get if you're subscribed for the Golden Goose, then you'll get the Golden Goose SMS notifications as well. But those might sometimes get annoying because there's a lot of them that get sent out. So that's the other SMS notification that you'll get if you subscribe for it. And then the other one that everyone is supposed to get is this stock picks. All right, so that's the other one. So the stock picks is basically that it comes directly from the additional advisors. Now, when you go and look at the Sharetrackin Basic 2 videos that we've done, we explain a little bit more on how the stock picks are calculated. Now, those are calculated directly from the additional advisors using something like your stochastic and your volume, telling you if the share is now in going into a bullish trend or in a bearish trend. So it usually uses the your long terms with your volumes greater than 100,000, and then also it looks at the stochastic, if the stochastic is giving you a buy or a sell notification. All right, so those are the other SMS notifications that you'll get, is the Golden Goose one, and then the stock picks. The stock picks, I know for the last few weeks has not really sent out because of the markets. So some of the markets are a bit overextended, and some of them have really fallen because of us waiting for this whole thing with the US to be over and done with. So there was a news bulletin that I read that if Biden has to win, that then the markets would start going up, but the rand value might decrease. But so far, with the fight between Biden and Trump, yeah, the markets haven't really recovered as we were hoping. But there are some of the shares that's starting to recover. Right, for instance, SSW, and that's still going in an upwards trend since the 7th of October, since the Sharetrackin Basic 2 video that I've done. So that shares from the 7th of October would have given you about 25% growth. All right, but yeah, so the SMS notifications are really basic stuff. It's only to set them up correctly. Correctly meaning that you need to know which values to basically go and add. So as I said, for CFD trading, so if you're doing CFDs, then I would say anything between, let's say, 5 to 6% on a stop loss. All right, you really want to lose a lot on a CFD because of the ratios that they're trading with the gearing ratios, with your leverages. So those you need to set up for on a 5 to 6%. But with a equity, I would say that you can set it up at least between 8 and 10%, or because the equity doesn't take that long to fall, or to grow, right? Because it's a share that goes up slowly, or it goes down slowly. All right. Sometimes it might happen that you'll get a big fall within a day, like for instance now with the COVID situation in February, that the shares just started to plummet. All right, and then it goes way over your stop losses. All right, with your target value depends on yourself, right? Depending on how much you want to make. But I won't set it too high in the beginning. I won't expect too much from a share. So about a 10% in the beginning is more than enough. All right, don't expect too much from a share. Gross stop loss would always be more or less half of your of your stop loss in the beginning. From there on, it would start calculating a bit different, meaning that it can either be a gross stop loss upwards, or it can be a gross stop loss downwards. In the case of SSW currently, it's set mine to a higher value instead of a lower value, so it can be upwards as well, and not down, and not also not downwards, because it's growth stop loss. All right, so on the growth of the share, it might tell me, listen here, that you need to go and sell out now because you've reached a stop loss in an upwards direction or in a downwards direction. But the increase and decrease, there's nothing that you can really set on these. You will just normally get them. Same with your Golden Goose and your stock picks. All right. Just check here. All right, so the stock pick SMS notification, if you're not getting them, if you want them, then you can just notify us, and we can just add you onto the list, because it's easy to add. So I just go into the databases and just add your number if you're not receiving the stock pick SMS notifications. Remember, those stock picks are also not really shares that you should buy immediately. All right, that's another thing that you must know. The stock pick SMS notifications, don't just take them and go and buy them immediately. Those are shares that you still need to go and analyze. You still need to go and take that share, analyze the share, and make sure that it's a good share to buy. Now, yes, it's giving you giving it to you in the correct direction, but sometimes it might be, let's say, a watch list share. All right, so you need to go and add on to your watch list first, and then go and buy it. All right, because sometimes it might be a day or two too early, right? Because the stochastic has not crossed over yet in an upwards direction. Yes, it's below the 20 on the stochastic, but it's not yet in an upwards direction to tell you, yes, you can buy that share. All right, so it's better to go and first put it onto watch list, analyze it for a day to, and then buy it, because they're already in the correct position. Okay, and then you can go and buy it. Then, all right, so the competition, there's another question here. Can we trade CFDs and equities for competition? No. So you can't trade CFDs in the competition accounts. All right, you can only trade equities in the competition accounts. So that's for a more longer term. That's why the competition is a month, all right, because it's a longer term. So you can still trade smaller stocks, like for instance penny stocks and stuff like that, and try and make money on that, because obviously if you just buy a share, let's say at one cent, and you can go and sell it at 2 cents, because software will allow you to do that. But don't go and try to take advantage of that 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 ratio the whole time. Sometimes it's not really going to work. So better to look for a longer term investment, because that's what we're trying to achieve with the competition, seeing if you are good at investments. But then again, your investments is more or less the same as your CFD trading, right? Because you use this exact same technical analysis. All right. Um, so let me just see here. There is another question that I saw here. All right, so stock on the stock picks, there's a price in brackets and 25, let's say 25 rand, indicate a specific price. Is it a recommended purchase price or just a current price? So that would be the price that the SMS sends out on. All right, so the moment you receive the SMS notification, that's where the price was at when you receive the SMS notification. All right, so it's not where you should go and buy the share. All right, it's basically just telling you what the share price is currently at. That's basically what the refined golden goose SMS notifications do. All right, so the refined golden goose SMS notification would say, listen here, buy the share at this price and go sell it out at that price. All right, so that's both in an upwards and a downwards direction. All right, so those SMS notifications would be for up and down, all right, not only for upwards direction. So the golden goose SMS notifications would do that, but not the stock picks. The stock picks would tell you in brackets basically what the price is that that the SMS sends out on. The thing is, if you don't have the stock picks, it's actually a bad thing. So I would say that if you want the stock pick notifications or it's not activated on you, and haven't received them anytime at all, you can just let us know. Send an email through to support at sharetrackin.com, or send one to me, to Rudi at sharetrackin.com. All right, and then I'll be able to go and add those SMS notifications on for you. But you must know that we have not yet sent out a lot of them. All right, because of the market's not really doing that good. All right, but you can send me um, a request, and then I'll add you onto the stock picks. All right, so I'll just add you to the I'll just add some add you onto it, and then you'll start receiving them. But if you don't want them, then we can deactivate them. But it's a good thing if you have them. All right, so what is the difference between a stock pick and a normal share? Look, a stock pick is basically a normal share. So we send out normal shares on the stock picks. We don't send out CFDs. So the stock picks are basically the normal shares. So they are all equities that we send out. All right. So if there's any other questions or anything, if you want me to add you onto it, as I said, please send me an email to Rudi@Sharetrackin.com or support@Sharetrackin.com, and then I'll add you onto the SMS notifications. All right. So if there's no further questions, then I'll wait for your SMS. I'll add you onto the stock picks. But as I said, because of the current situation of the markets, if you don't receive immediately, don't stress too much. We did activate it yesterday again just to see if it's going to send out again, but it looks like the markets are still not really in that correct position for stock picks to go out, because we don't want to send out false information. Okay, but I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. Then I'll see you next week again.